Hello there. On July 24th, 1991, a mysterious event occurred in the city of Tamura, Fukushima Prefecture, Japan. In a two-story house, a 7-year-old girl named Ishii Mai mysteriously went missing in the presence of 8 members of the family. The Ishii family consisted of Ishii Kenichi, 37 years old, the owner of a local construction company, and his wife Ishii Yoshiko, 27 years old. They had 3 children: Ishii Mai, 7 years old, Ishii Kento, 6 years old, and Ishii Reo, 1 year old. In addition, the family included the 74-year-old grandfather and 66-year-old grandmother, as well as Ryoko, a cousin of Mai, who was also living with them. On the fateful day, in addition to the 3 children of the family, there were 2 other girls who were the daughters of Yoshiko's friend visiting to play at the house. In the joyful and peaceful atmosphere, the child Ishii Mai suddenly disappeared, causing the whole family to panic and search frantically. However, despite their best efforts, the family could not find Mai anywhere. This was truly the most mysterious disappearance case without any resolution, and it shocked both the family and the Japanese community. The cheerful children were playing together at the Ishii family home, and the 2 girls who were Yoshiko's friends were allowed by their parents to stay overnight. Additionally, Kazuya Tamagawa, 22 years old, an employee of the Ishii family's company, and Ryoko's boyfriend occasionally stayed at the Ishii house due to the nature of his work. On that afternoon, some of the children had gone to Tamagawa's room to play video games, and he ended up staying at the Ishii house that night. Around 8:50 p.m., Mai's father took the 2 boys upstairs to the bedroom designated for the Ishii couple and their 3 children. However, since there were 2 additional girls visiting, a separate room with a double bed was prepared for the 3 young girls. In the meantime, the Ishii grandparents, who lived on the first floor, instead of going to sleep that night, felt very excited and decided to go to a nearby karaoke bar to enjoy the nightlife. Around 9:30 p.m., the 3 young girls had also gone to their room to sleep. Before going to her room, Mai led her 2 friends into the room and saw that her father and 2 siblings were already asleep. The young girl suddenly remembered that her mother had told her not to sleep in that room but to sleep in the next room instead, so she led both of her friends to the next room. The 2 friends were very fond of Mai, so they let Mai lie in the middle while they lay on either side. After a while, all 3 of them fell into a deep sleep. Mai's mother, who had been busy all day, saw that the 3 girls had fallen asleep, so she proceeded to do some household chores like tidying up the children's toys and preparing breakfast for the next day. Around 10:30 p.m., Mai's mother went into the room, pulled the blankets over the 3 girls, and turned off the light before leaving. However, little did anyone know that this would be the last time she would see her beloved daughter. Afterwards, she went to the bathroom on the 2nd floor. While in the bathroom, she heard the sound of the door downstairs opening, which struck her as strange. She wondered if Mai's grandparents had returned home early. Curious, she pushed open the bathroom window and looked down, only to see the employee, Tamagawa, hurriedly walking out. Yoshiko thought that he might have gone out to drink with friends, so she didn't pay much attention. After using the bathroom, she heard the sound of the door opening downstairs again and footsteps coming up to the 2nd floor. Tired from the busy day, she turned off the living room light and went to bed with her husband and 2 sons, not thinking much about the strange noises. Around 2 a.m., when Mai's grandparents returned from the bar, they found the door unlocked even though it was quite late. Finding this strange, the 2 grandparents locked the door and went to check the employee's room, but he was not there. This puzzled them further, as they had clearly seen him turn off the light and go to sleep earlier. The 2 elderly grandparents went up to the 2nd floor to ask their son if he knew where the employee had gone, but Ishii had just woken up and was not fully alert, so he only responded in a dazed manner that he would check it later. The next morning at 4:30 a.m., Mai's father woke up early as usual to start a new workday, as he worked in the construction industry and was accustomed to early mornings. When he got to the office, he noticed that the door was unlocked again, but he didn't think much of it and just started his work as usual. At 5:30 a.m., the 2 roommates of Mai woke up and discovered that Mai was not in the room. They immediately went out to find an adult, and Mai's father was the first to be notified. He woke up the entire family and organized an urgent search in every corner of the house, but they still could not find little Mai. Therefore, he called the police. After the police arrived and were briefed, they also got a general understanding of the case. The employee, Tamagawa, was said to have gone out the previous night for an unknown reason and had not reported it to anyone until the morning, when he still had not returned, so the police suspected that he was the one who had taken Mai away. At 6:30 a.m., Tamagawa returned home, and the police immediately restrained him and questioned him about where he had taken little Mai, but he claimed to know nothing. When asked about going out the previous night, he said that around 10 p.m. he had gone out to a public phone booth to call his friend in Koriyama. Koriyama is also a city in Fukushima Prefecture, about 25 kilometers away from Tamura City, where Mai's family lives. Through the phone call, he felt that his friend was in a bad mood, so he decided to immediately drive there to look for his friend. However, his car had a dead battery, so he had no choice but to go to the train station, but the last train had already departed, so he had to take a taxi to Koriyama. When he arrived, he could not find his friend at the planned location, so feeling tired from the trip, he rested on a store's bench overnight. The next morning, he returned to the company, and when he heard the police report, he was surprised to find himself suspected of being involved in the incident. The police then conducted a series of investigations and discovered some clues. Mai is a very shy girl who even dares not go to the toilet at night and usually sleeps in the room with her parents and younger brother. This was the first time she did not sleep with her parents, so it is possible to rule out the possibility that she went out on her own, and someone must have taken or lured her out. Tamagawa was the only one in the house other than the two guest girls, and Mai's grandparents also went out that night. This makes the case even more complicated as the new details raise many questions about Mai's disappearance. However, it is completely impossible for the elderly couple to harm their granddaughter, and the police could not find a clear motive. Therefore, the only outsider, Tamagawa, is the one who is most suspected, while Mai's cousin Ryoko is at her mother's house in Koriyama and has an alibi. The two girls who slept with Mai said that last night they heard the sound of a man talking to Mai, but they don't remember the exact conversation, and they both said a man had come into the room. One of the girls said that when they were playing video games together in the employee's room that afternoon, they heard him say to Mai, "Do you want to go out with me in the evening?" However, the police believe that Mai's mother instigated the girls to say that, so they did not accept it as evidence. The police searched Ishii's house, but apart from the residents, they did not collect fingerprints from anyone else. The police also brought a sniffer dog to search for Mai, but the dog only tracked Mai's scent to the main entrance on the first floor and then stopped. Therefore, it can be inferred that Mai had walked to the back door and then been picked up or abducted by someone. A local resident had seen a white car parked by the side of the road with the trunk open that night, and the car was trying to start. The person thought it was someone whose car had broken down and was parked by the side of the road, but the next morning the white car had disappeared. After checking with all the neighboring households around Ishii's house, the police found that none of the families had a white car. Therefore, it can be inferred that the car was a stranger's, and very likely the one that had taken Mai away. Basically, the clues that have been identified point to the employee as the main suspect and the only suspect. However, the Ishii family at the time did not want to do anything to him, they just wanted to find their daughter. The family demanded that he reveal Mai's whereabouts, but he insistently claimed he knew nothing. He admitted that he had actually gone to meet a friend that night, but he didn't expect so many things to happen after he got home. People thought he was the perpetrator, but they didn't expect the Japanese police to release him after 2 weeks of investigation, as 2 witnesses had proven he was not present at the scene, and he also did not have enough time to commit the crime. The first witness was a taxi driver who testified that he had waited for the man to go to Koriyama that night. The second witness was a customer service employee on Koriyama Street who said he had seen Tamagawa lying on a bench near the department store around midnight, and they even had a brief conversation. With these 2 witnesses, it can be proven that the employee's statement to the police was truthful. The last time Mai's mother saw her was at 10:30 p.m., which was also when the taxi driver picked up the employee, so he could not have kidnapped and transported her in such a short time. In addition, the Japanese police evaluated that the employee was not lying based on his statement and cooperation at the police station, so he was released. The case is closed, and no one knows who actually kidnapped Mai. Mai's father insists that it was the employee who kidnapped her, citing the employee's habit of drinking. In fact, the relationship between the two has never been good, and if the employee was not his daughter's boyfriend, he would have fired him long ago, so it is very possible that the employee had a grudge and wanted to take revenge by kidnapping his daughter. He explains that this employee has a very high motive for the crime because his car battery has been dead for a long time, and he has been driving the company car out at night frequently in recent days. However, why did he take his own car out that night? Was he out of his mind? But this is just an assumption and reasoning of Mai's father without any specific evidence. Mai was a petite, beautiful, and very lovely girl, so when she disappeared, the whole family felt like they had lost their souls. Afterwards, Mai's father decided to close the company to focus all his energy on finding his daughter, and he had someone monitor the employee 24/7 but still found no clues. The hope of finding Mai is becoming increasingly slim, as there is really no one else suspected to be the perpetrator, and the police are also powerless after this incident. Even the employee is suffering greatly because Mai's family believes he is the one who kidnapped their daughter, but in fact he is completely innocent. To this day, 32 years have passed, but there is still no result on any information about Little Mai. The entire search so far has mobilized 3,900 police officers and investigated more than 6,000 locations, such as companies, residences, vehicles, hillsides, and even rivers, but all to no avail. On July 24, 2006, after 15 years since the disappearance of Little Mai, the statute of limitations for prosecution has passed, but the truth surrounding this case remains a big mystery, leaving the girl's disappearance an unsolved case. If Mai is still alive today, she would be 39 years old, even though the media has continuously published many of her childhood photos. However, over the years, she has changed greatly as she has grown up, making the hope of finding her very fragile. Despite the many years that have passed, the hope that Little Mai is still alive and could return to reunite with her family remains. Her family and the community continue their relentless efforts to find her, hoping to get answers about her fate. How do you feel about today's case? Leave a comment so we can discuss. And if you liked it, don't hesitate to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to support us. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.